Hello everybody, it's Holly from Besotted Orchids. Thank you so much for joining me on what we have here in Ohio, a very, very beautiful day. Nice and breezy. My clothesline's going to be full all day long. I'm doing all the laundry, hanging it out. It's going to smell beautiful. And the sun is out, so that means maybe a lake trip. We're going to be 70 degrees today. 70, 72 degrees, so that means I could go to the lake later on. And yes, in the wind, I do not go. But I have discovered this. The other night, I went and I was desperate to kayak. I'm like, I have got to kayak. So I go over to the marina, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the waves were... I'm like, I am not putting in here. I'm not. The water's cold. You have to be very careful if the water's colder. I really should have a dry suit, or a wetsuit, whatever. Which for next year I will, because I do want to kayak a little later in the year. But, so as I was leaving, I passed my daughter and son-in-law going into the lake. They were just they love to go over and just see the lake and spend time there. They don't kayak on the lake. They boat. But anyhow, so then I thought, well, I'm going to wrap the whole way around the lake and come in the backside. Very, very steep hill going down into where all the catfish are. Everybody who's fishing for catfish, they go down to the lower end for some reason. But much lower. Not as high a water. It doesn't hit the wind. And the river feeds into it. So I can paddle around the lake, and I can also go up the river, and I don't have waves. Wonderful. I'm so glad I discovered this. Anyhow, you didn't come here to hear about kayaking. If you did, let me know. We can start another channel. I do have to tell you something in a little bit. Anyhow, the most dangerous orchid, also the largest orchid in my collection. Do you see this? This is a big orchid. This is a really large orchid. Maxillaria Tenuifolia. Here she is. Very, very grassy, very beautiful. I just poked myself in the eye. I'm not kidding. This is dangerous. I do want to come in and show you these. Do you see all the brown sheaths on there? When it is done blooming, I will be removing those. I don't like them. It just takes away. It takes away from the whole plant. I don't want to do it now while it is in bloom, and it is wonderfully in bloom right now. Smells like not hand lotion, suntan lotion. Smells like a coconut variety of a suntan lotion. Not if you crack open a coconut. Not that fresh coconut scent. Sadly, the imitation, but it does smell delightful. Look at that. I'm not sure if you can see the spotted lip very well. It does have a spotted lip. I will probably put a picture of it. If I don't think I have a good picture of it on here. But it is loaded. I think I counted 16 blooms open. Now these are small. So it's not a showstopper from a distance. This is one you'd have to get up a little closer to see all the blooms. I mean, they're just everywhere. There's so many of them. I'm very, very happy because last year she did not bloom for me. There were no blooms last year. And again, I think it was due to my other love. My love of the water is taking water from them, which is not good. But I don't think I gave it enough water last year. I really do. I think that's the problem. But if you want a big, beautiful, grassy-looking orchid in your collection, you want the Maxillaria Tenuifolia. Very, very pretty. And I'm not sure I don't have the varietal names. I don't know what the varietal names are of these. But this is the red one. And when I say red, it's more of this year it's pulling almost I don't want to say burgundy, more of a brownish red. Not really terracotta. I don't know. It's not a brilliant red. But yeah, it has about 16 open on it and some more, hopefully, to come out. You can see. I do want you to see that there are quite a few buds on there, blooms on there. It's just beautiful. It's so beautiful. Now, it's not like your big fluffy cattleyas where from across the room you're like, oh my goodness, I need to go and look at this orchid. It's not that orchid. I'm enjoying my coffee this morning. No apologies. I'm enjoying my coffee. I have a full day of work ahead of me. I have got to have my coffee. But yeah, and like I said, it is very pokey. There's times I've gone in for a sniff, and I usually do this, but if you forget, you could easily poke yourself. They're very sharp. But yeah, when it is fully finished blooming, I will delicately pull off all the brown you see in there. I should have done that last year. I would have a much prettier looking display this year had I done that. So there is orchid care you need to do with your orchids. There's maintenance. There's care you need to do. But yeah, it does like water, especially now that it's blooming. When it's blooming, I typically don't soak my orchids for a very long time. It's kind of in and out, but when this is in bloom, I do give it a good soak. I do soak it in water for 15-20 minutes. I just give it a really, really good soak. But it is, look at that. Who wouldn't want, let me see if I can scoot back. Who wouldn't want this huge, giant bowl full of grass in their home? It is really, really pretty. It probably is one of my favorite. Even, I scooted back too far now. Even when it is not in bloom. When it's not in bloom, I find this very, very appealing. Let's get real. A cattleya is not beautiful when it's not in bloom. To me, it's not. I don't like the foliage of a cattleya. But this is just absolutely stunning. And this, again, is the red variety. And coconut smell. I do want to tell you that. Coconut suntan lotion smell. Because we have a different variety over here. And you know what? I actually have a tag for this one. Maxillaria Tenuifolia Yellow Yamada. This came from, actually both these came from Sheldon. Both of these came from Carmela. The majority of my orchids, I don't like to harp and say, oh my gosh, Sheldon. Oh, Sheldon. But I do, Sheldon. I've gotten most of my orchids from Carmela Orchids. And he's never let me down. Honestly, he's never ever let me down with any of the orchids. And he does not sponsor me. He's just an absolutely, they grow beautiful orchids. So, I'm always going to praise where praise is due. Now, like I said, the Yamada variety, which is yellow. Another, okay, I'm going to get this one out of my way. Out of the way. And we're going to move this one in. Look at this. It is, believe it or not, it's not as large as the other one because it doesn't have anything coming back this way. The other one has almost a ball shape to it. It's very spherical. This one's kind of all coming this way. It's coming at you. Now, not blooming yet. Not blooming yet. I'm really, really hoping that it does bloom this year for me. It has bloomed in the past. It's bloomed at least one time, if not two. So they do like my care. They do like the lighting conditions. I think they're doing well. They do really like the water though. But once again, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful grass-like foliage. I mean, I have these in two different locations just because I like them to have good light. You know, they both have room with the light. But they would look really nice maybe on two ends. Maybe I need to do a little bit more with them since they are in the house. Take advantage of this beauty. But I am looking forward to possibly in the next few weeks. Let's take a peek. I won't be so careful peeking. I don't want to damage anything. But this will be yellow. And it, believe it or not. Okay, let's get real here. Sometimes we see a color. We see a color. Bear with me here. And it almost taints it almost leads us in a direction that maybe we wouldn't have been led had it not been that color. And correct me if I'm wrong. If you've never experienced this, correct me if I'm wrong. But this one smells a little more peach-like. A little more peachy. And it's funny because I say yellow, but the color is yellow with a little pink blush to it. Peach blush to it. So, and I don't think it is the color, but it's just a weird coincidence that the color would also be the scent. You know what I mean? But here it is. Here's my second big girl. Oh, she's just beautiful. That's beautiful. That's so, so pretty. I would have it in my home more in the interior, like on an island or a counter somewhere. But I do need it to have the light. So therefore, I do want it closer to the windows. But it would make a beautiful, beautiful, just a house plant. Even if you never, ever cared that it bloomed. If you never cared that it bloomed, this would still be a beautiful houseplant for your collection. It's just so pretty. Shiny. Shiny leaves. They just shine. I just think it's so beautiful. It's elegant. It's just absolutely, absolutely beautiful. Have I said that enough? But once again, this will smell more like peaches. And this one is more of a yellowy peachy color. But again, they do like water. And you wouldn't want to just go in, because if you look at this, you wouldn't want to just go in with your eyeball. You wouldn't. I've been poked a couple times. You don't want that to happen to you. So, are these my most dangerous orchids? I say yes. I say yes. This was not clickbait. I do think they are. They do pose a hazard to your eyes. They really do. But other than that, they're absolutely beautiful, beautiful orchids, and I'm well pleased with them. But as you can see, this one is not as old, so it doesn't have so much of the brown sheaths on it. It really doesn't need much cleanup on this one. The other one will require quite a bit, and I even had removed some. There's more buds coming. I had even removed some prior to filming a few days ago, but I stopped because I just don't want to risk. Having it look pretty for the camera is not worth risking the blooms in the buds that are forming on this. So it is a little rough, but I will go around, maybe tweezers, I don't know. It's delicate work getting in there for these. These aren't great big huge sheaths on them. And I will clean these off, and maybe next year the showing will be even more spectacular. But this one here, I do want to show you. I'm going to see if you can see. There is still plenty of room. You see the bark there? There's still plenty of room on the outer sides of this for it to grow. It can come out. So I'm not going to worry about repotting this, even though it is rather large. But this is a really large pot. Not terracotta, sadly. And you know, I don't know that I would ever put this in terracotta. I don't know. Well, for one thing, it would need a really heavy pot. And I don't want to put massive amounts of weight on my wooden shelves in there. There probably is a point where they might bow a little bit. And I also told my husband, I said, we might need to add a support up through some of the areas. There's windows the whole way around, so you really can't screw another of my, it's not an anchor. Whatever holds shelves up. Brackets. Brackets. So you really can't do that. So I think we might have to actually go from the ground up and just build some supports in that way. Just to prevent any of the bowing. Because I did originally start with, in the grow space, with all plastic. All pots like this. All the black ones. But I didn't like them. I just didn't like them. Aesthetically, I didn't like them. And I also think the opposite end of the spectrum from what I'm had last year, the dryness of my plants, I think they were staying too wet. So, I can't win. But I think this year with the terracotta and adding a little bit of sphagnum, I think we're going to be in the home stretch with it. I think I found the perfect in the middle ground for what my orchids need. I need the terracotta. And they also do, so I don't overwater them. It does help with overwatering. But you need a little sphagnum for days you're just in the woods or on the lake all day. But this one is in terracotta, and it will most likely move. But you can see it's much smaller. It's not nearly as advanced as the red one. The red one is probably at least 3 years old. And this one, I would guess this is at least the second summer with this one. Maybe I got it as a little smaller plant, but so this is really what it just grows in. This is the size, and it's very comfortable in there. It has plenty of room yet. But for stability purposes, you can imagine what this does on my counter or my shelf over there. It's just going to fall off. So I do click it right down in there. It just sit down in here because this is very heavy heavier, and it does just keep it from falling over. I don't want these to fall over. They're just beautiful. So that's probably all I have to say about the Maxillaria Tenuifolia. And you're probably going to have to excuse me. My next video, I'm probably going to be wearing the same shirt because I have some more orchids here. And I thought, I'm just going to spread them out into 2 different videos because they are more the blooms. I just want to show you some new pretty blooms. I do want to give a little update. I have started a second channel. You're like, what? You can't even post on here. What are you doing? Listen, I spend a lot of time out in nature. I spend so much time out there. I dearly, dearly love being out in the woods. I love being out at the lake. I love being along the rivers, the waterfalls. We were at the waterfall yesterday, my son and I. He wanted to go. And it's just spectacular. But I also love to read. You see where this is going? So you've probably never stumbled upon me. I've only have 2 videos up so far. But I have started Besotted Books. I think that's so cute. I told my aunt, I said, I'm going to start an empire of Besotted. Besotted everything. But no, I have started a channel, Besotted Books. I have bookshelves all over my home. There are just 3 different bookshelves downstairs, and then my son has a lot of books upstairs. He was just rampaging around my books the other day. That's the beauty of having a homeschooler. They really do, I don't know, they don't have, lots of things are just different for them. And he loves to come down and just, there will be periods, of course, where he doesn't read. He's like, I'm not reading, I'm sick of reading. But then he'll come tear down through the bookshelves and say, I want my favorite books in my room. So he's been moving all of his Jack London books up. We were talking about the saddest books. I mean, listen, I didn't want to go bookie on here, but I'm going to tell you, the saddest book I have ever read in my life is Where the Redford Grows. I can't hardly even talk about that book. If you love dogs, and you've particularly read the book one time, and then you go to reread it, you will weep on page 1. You will weep on page 1. That's enough about books. I don't want to talk about them here. But you hear enough kayaking. But anyhow, I do have a life outside of orchids. I really do. There's so many things I do. My friends say I'm the busiest person in the world. I'm just out doing all kinds of things. But anyhow, I do, if you are into books, and this is probably one of the few times I'll mention this, if you are into books and you want to know what Holly is up to in reading, go to Besotted Books. So I do have another channel that's growing a little bit. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm up to. So look forward to seeing me here tomorrow. Whenever you're watching this, I'll probably post the blooms the very next day. But I do have some beautiful, beautiful, I'm looking at them. They're sitting here on either side of me. But I'm not going to show you. You'll have to watch the next video. I will give you a little hint. The one that I consider more the spider orchid. The Mystic Maze. Banfield Tower Mystic Maze. That's a mouthful. Is in full bloom. And it's just so pretty. It's so pretty. And I feel so mean. They're just sitting right here. I could just reach my little hand over and grab them and show you, but I'm not going to. I need another video later. But I will put up a bloom video here that you'll watch tomorrow. So yeah, here we go. Maxillaria Tenuifolia. I think you'll love it. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It does. Oh, it does also like some really good light. It does. I wouldn't say Cattleya level light, but it does need a little bit of light to it. You can't put it in a dark corner and expect it to bloom. So there you go. There you go. My babies. My absolutely beautiful Maxillaria Tenuifolia. Get one. I don't think you'll regret it. Thanks so much for watching my channel. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I do want to say something. Linda, I am so sorry that I used the wrong name. A subscriber, Linda, she did suggest, and I'm not sure if I corrected this in another video. I'm all over the place. She suggested I moved my orchids upstairs to a window and to get more light, particularly the Paphiopedilums. And so I will probably put a video up. They are up there. They are upstairs outside my bathroom. So it's easy for me to move them in. And actually, I do shower them. I do just put a bunch of orchids in the shower. I water them. I leave. But I do have to remember to go up with every other watering. I probably should do it more often, but every other watering, I do the fertilizer with them. So they're not being neglected that way. But the ones down here pretty much every time do get fertilizer. So I don't know, but you know, busy lives. They're upstairs by the bedrooms. If you come back down, sometimes you don't get back up unless you're doing laundry, putting laundry away. So sometimes it's just, hey, you need to shove these in the shower and you need to water them. But they are getting a southwesterly facing window. So fingers crossed, Linda, that we see some happy petalum blooms. So thank you all for watching. Please have a great day. Please like, share, subscribe, and above all, enjoy those beautiful orchids.